Up bright and early, getting stuff done. Although I say bright and early, we had a bit of a late one last night after the harvest yesterday. Obviously Jack and Jake, myself and Clara had a lovely barbecue, a few beers to celebrate the harvest. So we're all a bit dreary-eyed this morning. We didn't stay up too late. We did have a few beers, but we didn't stay up too late because I knew we needed to hit the ground running this morning. We're jumping straight back into the cornfield. Clara's up front there in the Magnum with the windrower. We're going to row up all of these corn stalks, and I am obviously following behind with the pickup wagon. I'm going to get them taken over to Taheton Fairgrounds. Now they're paying about just over $800 per tonne. I have no idea of the tonnage we're going to get out of this field, but needless to say, I can imagine it's going to be quite a few, and we've got quite a few hours ahead of us of field work today. We've been up since about 5:30 this morning. We've got the animals sorted, all fed for the day, shifted a load of manure and slurry into the biogas plant, keep the earnings coming from that. So we're doing alright so far, but yeah, this is a very big job indeed. But I am excited to see what kind of monies we can get in from these corn stalks. It's going to be big, I reckon. Fingers crossed, anyway. So yeah, we've programmed in a 15-metre wide windrow course for Clara to follow, because obviously the GPS course that we had for the harvesters, that's for 2 harvesters, so it just seems, it's in my mind anyway, it seems a bit more efficient to run it this way. Just program in a 15-metre wide course to completely envelop the field, get it all done. I'll follow behind with this, get it all picked up. But then the work doesn't stop there. Obviously the idea is obviously for a winter wheat, so this field is completely empty of nitrogen. The corners drank it all up. So the plan of attack initially now anyway is all 3 of our arable fields need to be topped up with nitrogen. The oat field at the top there needs some, doesn't need a huge amount, but it needs something. This field needs loads, and the soybean field is kind of quite patchy. It's got some areas that are relatively good and the numbers are quite high for nitrogen, but some areas that are quite low. But in order to get the best out of a crop of wheat, I need to top it all up. So we're going to run the TB60, the anhydrous toolbar, with the big anhydrous tank and get all that topped up. Hopefully we might get the opportunity to make a start on that a bit later today. We'll see how we go with this, but I know Clara has been very kindly requesting. She's very keen to have a go in the 715. And she's proven herself time and time again as being extremely capable down here on the farm at anything I ask her to do. So how can I say no? So yeah, she's going to run the 715 with the toolbar and the tank and have a go in this field. Now the soybean field is also quite heavily riddled with weeds, but that the TB60 will help cultivate them into the ground anyway. Maybe add a little bit of natural fertiliser to the ground as we are injecting with anhydrous, but we shall see. Now the oat field as well, we mulched that a while ago, but as I say, the soil does need topping up with a bit of nitrogen there as well. Not quite as much as this field does. So we'll be running the anhydrous toolbar in all 3 fields, get them all ready for a drilling of winter wheat, which hopefully we will be able to get sorted in the coming weeks. But for now, we've got a huge amount to get done here. I have had a phone call from the guys over at the dealership. They have now got a window of opportunity to have a look at my 1455 XL that's been on the back of that trailer behind the pickup truck for quite a while. So I'm excited to get that over to them so they can start having a look at that and seeing how much money that needs throwing at it. There we go. Let's drop that down, turn that on, and make a start on this, eh? So I'd imagine this is going to take us quite a long time. As we all know, this is, well, it's just under 190 acres, this field, 188 point something to be relatively precise. So we've got quite a few hours ahead of us. But I am keen to see roughly what kind of money the guys over at the fairground will give us per trailer load of these corn stalks. Now don't get mistaken, it's not a fairground, there's no Ferris wheels, there's no dodgem carts or anything like that. It's more of an agricultural fairground. They sell machinery over there used, I believe the guys at the dealership, because they're quite a big dealership in that respect, they do store a few bits of machinery over there when they're in pre-delivery stage, so there's usually quite a few nice things over there. Not been up there for quite a while though, to be fair, so it'd be interesting to see what they've got going on. But up there is also where we get all of our animals and livestock from, so it's always quite busy up there. It's always a nice visit. Anyway, plenty to do, plenty of time ahead of us to get this field sorted, so let's crack on.
Someday you'll come running, somehow rivers calling, you'll see I'll be longing, I'm free. Come hell or high water, I'm gonna make you love me. Come hell or high water, I'll bring your blue skies down. Like how it feels with our backs against the wall. Maybe I'm reckless, maybe I play the fool. Come hell or high water, baby, I think I want you. Someday you'll come running, somehow rivers calling, you'll see.
Well, the job's almost done now. It has been a very long day. We started at just after 7 o'clock this morning, I think. And it's now just turned 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, what a job. I tell you what. There we go. every farm needs a Clara, as far as I'm concerned. She has been so busy today. I've got to hand it to her. She finished off with the windrower. Feels like hours and hours ago now. She's got back up to the farm. She's cleaned everything that needed cleaning off. Both harvesters have all been cleaned off. The headers, the Magnum, the windrower. And she, as I said before, she was absolutely desperate to pick up the keys to the 715. So she's hooked it up to the TB60. And here she is, cracking on. I've just left her to her own devices. What can I say? She's handling that very well, isn't she? Good job. Good job indeed. So, yeah. I'll tell you what, though, money-wise, I think we're going to be doing all right from this. Now, as I say, it's been hours and hours and hours that I've been going back into with this thing. I think it's been about 20 trips. Now, the way it works is I'm going to be going into the office when I get there with this last load. We've got just over 50% here, I think about 1.6 tonnes. But per full trailer load, we've been getting just north of $2,600. So that's a half-decent income, if I don't say so myself. So we're going to get down there now and get the last of it tipped. And I'm quite keen to have a bit of a peek around the car park, because I saw some pretty nice fancy stuff down the bottom end there before, so we're going to go and check that out. But the money we're going to get from this is going to help me towards this on the right hand side. It's another plot of land that's come up for sale. I've only just had a phone call in the last couple of hours just to let me know about it, so it's not something that I've had in the pipeline for a while. It's one of these last minute decisions, but it's good money, kind of, I think, for the acreage. The land's in good condition. It's been recently ploughed over, so it's a strong consideration, because now, thinking on my feet, if I do get hold of that plot of land, it means I can keep me hand in a bit of corn this year as well. So that'll be good. So here we are. This is where I've been coming back into for the last several hours. Taheton County Fairgrounds. So let's get this lot tipped here. Round about there-ish, I think. There we go, that'll do. The last of it. Job well done though, I've got to say. Very time consuming, but a job well done. But yeah, it's that lot down there that caught my eye a few hours ago, and I've been very keen to go and check them out. So, let's pull up here at the office. I'll try and park up somewhere so I'm out of the way, so I'm not getting in anyone's way. Here looks as good as any place, doesn't it? Take up a few car park spaces there, I'm sure nobody will mind. Look at those though. Go and have a look in a bit of a closer detail in a minute, once I have found out exactly what money we've got from these corn stalks. Well, I'll tell you what, that was worth every minute of work today. I've got a cheque in my hand here for $51,580. Absolutely incredible. Well chuffed with that. So, that's kind of already spent, I think. Oh, hello. I think there's a few Dodge fans who work here, aren't there? We've got a beautiful Charger here. That's a nice thing, isn't it? Check that out. What is it? 440 RT, very nice. I think this is one of these new ones in it. I think that's a... Is it a Demon Hellcat or whatever you call it? I don't know, but these things are stupid fast. I think they're north of 800 horsepower. You could peel your face off with the acceleration of one of those bad boys. Very nice. But I'm not here for that. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? 8RX 410. It's a nice thing. Dragging an anhydrous tank. But yeah, it's these three. Now, apparently, according to the guy in there, these are just sitting here from... they're owned by the dealership. They're going to be going off to some agricultural show in the next few weeks, so they're just sitting here being stored at the minute. One in each of the colours, but look at that. Twin 1400s. These are the new 715s, the wheeled variant of what I've got, but look at that. That is colossal. It looks proper mean with the, I think it's the murdered out term, isn't it? Black on black on black, although it's not got the black windows. Although I must admit, I'm much prefer it with the clear glass. I'm not too keen on dark windows. But that is a mean looking tractor if there ever was one, don't you think? Very nice. And of course, in case red, with the twin 1100s, rock box equipped on the front. 2100 pound weights. Very nice indeed. And a bright one. Bright green. And I've never known how I felt about this green. It's, yeah, it's bright, isn't it? You're not going to miss that on a dark day. But I suppose it's for promotional purposes, isn't it? Like I say, it's off to some show. But the big triples, like the one I've got back at home, although mine's a bit older and a bit more worn out than this one, I wouldn't mind this, I tell you. Very nice. What a set of tractors. A couple of bits of kit that's coming up for sale in one of the auctions that's coming up. A Mandaco Storm field cultivator. That's quite a thing, isn't it? It's in quite good condition, to be fair, isn't it? Looks quite good. Very nice. Big New Holland baler, square baler. Similar to the one I've got back on the farm, eh? Nice looking thing. Anyway, right, so what's the plan of attack anyway? I can't spend all day gawping at vehicles in a car park. Got plenty to do. So what I think I'm going to do now, I'm going to get this thing back home, back to the farm, and then I'm going to get the 1455 taken over to the shop. Because speaking of the shop as well, I did have a phone call from the dealership earlier. They have something in that they think I might be interested in. And I am interested in it because it's something that has crossed my mind a few times since planning on doing wheat, is the seeder. Now, obviously when it comes to planting corn, we're alright because we've got the big early riser case planter there. But that doesn't cater for wheat or barley or any other normal cereal crops. We do have the horse seeder that I purchased a wee while back, but that's not particularly big. And if I wanted to put wheat in the two big fields that we've got there, I suppose all three of them are pretty big, but the two of them are much bigger than the other one, aren't they? If I wanted to get that drilled, that is going to be an extremely painfully long process of spending most of the time filling up with seed. So I have had my ear to the ground for a second-hand seeder, a big one, bigger than the one I've got, and the dealership have told me they do have one in. It's well used, it's second-hand. It's a Vaderstadt brand. I think it's very similar to the one Jack's got. Jack's got a Seedhawk thing with a big central seeder. Yeah, we can make that. There we go. Yeah, it's similar to the one he's got, but it's kind of different colours. And it's good money. I think when they were brand new, you're looking at, I think, north of $450,000 for both of the bits of equipment, but the dealership are asking 170 grand for what they've got down there. It's not had a clean. It's a bit dirty. There's a little bit of work needed. I think most of the metal teeth need replacing, and a little bit of work looking at the hydraulics. But apart from that, it's got a few hours under its belt. Obviously, it's been well used. But for 170 grand, for what was 450 to $500,000 worth of equipment, it's not to be sniffed at. So we're going to go and have a look at that. So as I say, we're going to take the 1455 down on the trailer. I'm going to drop that off with them and leave that there for what I believe will be an undetermined amount of time. While I'm doing that, Clara's going to crack on with this, and then once she's finished in this field, even though I think it's about 3:30 in the afternoon, she's still very keen to keep with the 715, and she's going to get it into the cornfield and get cracking in there. So she's a good one, isn't she? She really is. So anyway, let's get back to the farm, get the pickup truck, and get back to the shop and go and have a look at this seeder. Well, there would only be one major problem with purchasing this massive seeder. It's not going to fit in any of my workshops. the height of it won't go through the doors apparently. So that's going to be a bit of a thing I might have to overcome. I can certainly do a lot of the work myself. All the chisels need replacing, so yeah, I can get them replaced. I can do all that myself. That's relatively straightforward. I can work on some hydraulics. I can order the parts, but if I can't get it into the workshop, that's a whole different thing entirely, isn't it? But I'm certainly not going to be buying a workshop just to house a seeder. That's pretty stupid, really. I'll be able to keep the actual bar itself parked outside if I have to, and I'll put the seed cart in the shed and keep it in there. But yeah, it's just something to think about. He did tell me, he said it is quite tall even when it's folded up, so and obviously when it's unfolded, it ain't going through my big wide doors anyway, that's for sure. There it is, you can see it there. Goodness me, that is a whopper, isn't it? That is a big thing. But for the money they're asking, it's kind of a no-brainer. I've never seen one of these come up so cheap. There we are. Do you know what? Let's... In fact, they've got their truck in the workshop there, haven't they? Let's just... We'll pull up here for now. That'll do. We'll get this thing unloaded. I'll ask them where they want me to put it. So I don't think I can get it in here yet. Unless they pull their work truck out of there. But here it is. What a thing. Now it is red. I'm certainly not going to bother getting this thing custom painted or anything. But yeah, a few of the chisels need replacing. In fact, most of the chisels need replacing. In fact, that's what he was saying. But if you few hours looking at the hydraulic systems, giving it a good check over, I think it does need a few hoses here and there. Maybe a couple of the hydraulic rams need replacing. But that and that for 170 grand. And it's on tracks as well. How cool's that? It's got this big conveyor belt to stick out the side when you want to unload it. Now, this will take fertilizer as well, apparently. It's not necessarily going to stop me using my anhydrous, but the option's there if I needed to. But for 170 grand, for both of them. Although it does beg me to wonder how I'm going to clean it. I can't get this one up onto the... I can't get it up to the farm, because this is too wide to go up my driveway between the white fencing. I may have to consider getting rid of that fencing, because it is becoming a little bit awkward now with the size of my combine harvester, the one with the big dual wheels on the front. That's quite a tight fit up there. This won't even go. I know Clara, she managed, but getting the TB60 down the hill with the 715 and the anhydrous tank at the back, it is a bit cumbersome and it is very tight. So I might need to just put my sensible pants on and dismantle that white fence and just give us a fighting chance, eh? It does look nice though. But yeah, this won't go. It won't go in the workshop to wash it, so I can't wash it in the workshop, and I can't get it to the farm to wash it. So I might see if the guys here have got a jet washer that they can pull out and maybe just give it a once over and see what it looks like. Or maybe we'll leave that for another day, perhaps. We'll see. Anyway, let's go in and have a word with him. Let's see what's going on. Well, that was easy enough. They just dragged it off with the work truck, quite simply, with a nice bit of tough rope. Job's a good one, because obviously it doesn't run. It's got no electricity. The engine doesn't turn over. It needs a whole coat of looking at, but it's where it needs to be now. This is the best place for it. Next time I see it, hopefully, it'll have a bit more life in it. And potentially with a fresh paint job as well. I did clean it up. It does look alright, and it doesn't actually have too much scratches on the bodywork, does it? But the paint is quite faded. The red should be a lot more vibrant, and there is quite a bit of wear on the front bracketry here and around the PTO. I just want it to be mint, because it's an old thing, and I've always liked these 1455s. It's just going to be something nice to have on the farm, isn't it? As I say, I've got no idea what I'm going to use it for. If anything, it's just going to sit there and look pretty. What can I say? Having the farm in the state that it's in at the minute has afforded me these, I'm going to call it a luxury. Another tractor. But anyway, right, this seeder. According to the guys in the workshop, they say, in inverted commas, it works fine. They've tested it very briefly. They've hooked it up. They've had it unfolded and folded up. It all seems to work. relatively well. It's a bit creaky. There is 1 or 2 very slight hydraulic leaks in the hydraulic system. Obviously, all the chisels need replacing because they are blunt as anything, but that's not a problem at all. I can manage that, and I can manage the hydraulic hoses myself as well. But yeah, according to them, it runs and works fine. From the outside, anyway. We haven't got it in the field yet, but we shall see. But I think you all knew it was coming to this, didn't you? It's mine. Paid for it. 170 grand for that. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm still going to keep the horse seeder that we've got, because that's, I suppose, I've got one field that's kind of suitable for, and that's the grass field at the on the other side of the trees from the bale sheds. This thing's going to be too big for that field, but at the same time, the horse thing's about the right size for that, so I'm just going to keep hold of it for now until I have another ridiculous plan in the future. You never know what will happen, but for now I'm going to keep hold of it. There is still about 150 grand in that horse thing, so if I did sell it, it's worth considering anyway, but I'm going to keep hold of it for now. But we just made 50 grand from the corn stalks out of that field, so that's something worth writing home about, isn't it? So, speaking of home, let's get there. We'll come back in the Steiger and get our new toy. Wow, she really had been busy, hadn't she? Look at that. She's even left them parked on a designer angle outside my workshop for me, but look at that, she's got all them cleaned off. And the Magnum on the floaters and all, she's done that one. Goodness me. And both the trailers. She's a machine, that girl. She really is. Honestly. I can't keep up with her, what can I say? But yeah, grand job. Absolutely grand job. Brand new, these things, don't they? Excellent stuff. Right, well, I need you now, mate. Me and you are going on a trip. Let's go pick ourselves up. New toy. Right, let's get there. But yeah, thinking about it, these fences, as much as I like them, they're very nice, they look pretty, but the reality is, it is making, as the farm gets bigger, as fields get bigger, the equipment gets bigger, it's becoming increasingly more difficult to get some of the equipment up and down to the farm, and this is the main access point to the farm. So I do really need to think sensibly about that, don't I? This thing only just fits, doesn't it? As does the big combine, but I don't think I'm going to have any... Well, I'm definitely not going to have a chance of getting this seeder up there. So, I may as well dismantle the fence and sell it as good fencing instead of trying to drag a seeder up there and just smashing it to bits on the way up. So, yeah. Needs must. Here we are. Just thinking about it as well, Clara's going to be well excited about this. She doesn't even know this has happened, because it's only kind of really turned itself around in the last couple of hours. I haven't properly spoke to her since. So, I need to think, really, about the way to do this. Because one of the things that I don't have a huge amount of experience moving convoys around of this size. Where are we there? Is that about right, do you think? But I know that it is extremely difficult to move an articulated convoy with an articulated tractor made up of 3 parts. Oh, look at that. You'd think I'd done this before, wouldn't you? I haven't. But now I've got to get this thing attached to this. Right. This is not going to be straightforward, but... just watch that lamppost, because I don't want to have to pay for that and all. So let's see. How much room have I got? I'm going to need as much room as I can get my hands on. Come on. It's very difficult to do this with a camera in your hands as well. I hope you appreciate that. Where are we? We're getting there. Hello. That wasn't too bad, was it? Almost there. Let me just straighten that up a bit. I'll tell you what. I'm quite chuffed with that, if I don't say so myself. Although I must admit, it's very difficult to get my bearings on the distance there, because that is quite far away, so I think I'll just for... Ho, 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 ho. Not bad at all, if I don't say so myself. For a first time, I'm quite proud of that. Smug pants on. Although I've got to get out of here. Oh dear. I think I might. Am I even going to have the room around here? This is going to be... How much room have I got? I've got a bit of room. I can go back onto this spare grassland here, I suppose, and give myself a bit of wiggle room. But that looks tight. I think I'm just going to need a bit of room to my left here to get around this this lamppost, aren't I? Right. Okay. Let's just... Slowly does it. Slowly does it. I have no idea what I'm doing. All I can say is when I get back to the farm, I'm going to be dismantling it and doing it in parts. I reckon now that should have afforded me the space to whip right out and round. Yes. Let's not crash into that John Deere, shall we? There we go. I think... Yep, managed it. This is a sizable thing. Oh god, the traffic. I haven't thought about the traffic. Oh heck. Well, do you know what? They're just going to have to stop, aren't they? Might even have to just whip around there for now. And a train. Goodness me. Being tested already, aren't I? What a mess. Right, well, I'm going to very carefully and very gingerly get this home, or near home. I'll see you in a few moments. That was very, very close. That was seriously tight. We got it through literally millimetre perfect at about half a mile an hour. That was very, very painfully difficult, but we got here. We got here. Now, where is Clara? Where is she on that field? I think she might be at the far other end there, but yeah, can't really see her from here. She's going to be wondering what on earth is going on here. She has started to get accustomed to using some big equipment. Whether she can see me or not in the distance, I don't know. But anyway, never mind. We're almost here. Now, this is definitely going to be staying up this end at the workshop here. But I think the way I'm going to have to try and do this, I think, is I'm going to disconnect the air cart here. Just for now. Fortunately, it's a relatively quiet road, so I don't need to worry about that. But I think, in my mind, I'm just going to park this on the left hand side here for now in this little space, or big space, because it's the only place it's going to go. But if I get in here, I'll be able to put the air cart in here, hopefully. I think. Let's pop this door. But yeah, I should be able to squeeze that in here on the left or the right of the planter for now. Oh dear, what am I like, eh? Right, so let's have a go at this. I've never really looked at the gap between these fences and gone, ooh, will my equipment fit in there? But now I am. Right. So, and I don't want to be driving on my grass field either, so I'm going to have to be pretty careful here as well. This is going to put my reversing skills seriously to the test. Right. Just put a right hand down. Let's watch out for that sign. Quite close there, aren't we? There we go. Slow it down. There we go. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Relatively drama-free. Oh, I'll take that. I'll take that. Let's not crash into my shed though, eh? Pull it forward, straighten up. Oh, do you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to ask the guys at the dealership if they could whip one of their jet washers outside into the yard. Ah, I forgot about that one, didn't I? See, getting too excited and not thinking before I do. I suppose I've got a few more feet. I could afford to put that back a little bit more. Just a few. There we go. Yep, that'll do for me for now. Successfully got it home. That's all that matters. So we'll do the same with the air cart now. This should be a little bit more straightforward, he says. There we go. Carefully does it. Yeah, we'll get that in there, no problem, won't we? Nice and easy. That'll do. Let's just go check. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. There we go. And it's within reach of the jet washer. That's one important thing. Nicely done. Right. So I think now we shall... I've got that palaver over with. Just turn that off for a second. There we go. Even more planting equipment. But yeah, look at the size of that thing. It's no wonder it wasn't going to fit through the door. It's almost the same height as the workshop itself, isn't it? What a thing. Right. Let's go see how Clara's getting on. Have I turn the engine off? I'm really bad for doing that, aren't I? Oh, I did. Right. Yeah, let's go see how Clara's getting on. Oh, there she is. Perfect timing. Look at that. I think it looks like she's just about to start on the last headland. But she's not got too much time left, has she? Grand job, mate. Grand job. Look at that. What a thing. So, and I've just had a thought about my little confusion with how I'm going to get the new seed hawk planter thing cleaned off. Because the soybean field is empty, I'm thinking I can run it up the road here, just keep it out of the way of everything. And get it into the yard over the soybean field, if that makes sense. Just round the yard, round the whole house and all that kind of stuff. Into the yard from the big field entrance we've got there. Can at least get it into the yard there, and just to get it clean, get it up to the jet washer and give it a spray off. So I think that's what I'm going to do while I'm waiting for Clara to finish off there. But she's still adamant that she's going to be jumping into the cornfield and carrying on. She clearly loves sitting in that 715 and running that thing. So who am I to stop her? If she wants to carry on, she wants to carry on, doesn't she? So as I say, I'm going to have a bit of a go at getting this thing into the yard the back way. Give it a bit of a clean off. Well, this'll work. Every now and again, I have a half good idea. But yeah, I reckon if just take it nice and carefully. I should... Oh, hello, yeah. That'll work though, won't it? That will work just nicely. Right, I'm going to get this thing shifted out the way. In fact, no. Clara did such an admirable job of cleaning everything up. I think I'll give this a clean off first, and I'll pull this round and get that cleaned off as well. So, give me a few minutes, and hopefully the next time you see it, it'll be clean. Well, there we go. That looks a whole lot better straight away, don't you think? What a thing. The paintwork's actually not too bad, to be fair. But I can see what he means about the chisels. They're a little bit more comprehensive than the kind of chisels you find on a normal plough or anything like that, or a cultivator, but they're... and they all need... most of them need replacing, I think, anyway. I think for peace of mind, I think it's going to be a good idea to replace them all anyway, get a full set. As I say, they are a little bit more complicated than your normal average chisels, but it's nuts and bolts. I can manage that, I'm sure. And I have spotted a few splits in some of the hoses. So we'll give it a good coat of looking at, I think. Not that I can get it into the workshop and look at it, but either way, the tyres look all right. There's a bit of oil residue leaking out of a couple of the hydraulic rams here, so I don't know whether I can get a seal kit for them or whether it might just be a better idea just to replace them entirely. We'll see. We shall see, but for now, I think, now that it's clean, I'm really quite, I'm chuffed with that, so I'm going to get it back out the yard, go back round through the field again, because it's not going in any of these workshops. Not that it's going in any workshop at all, but it's a bit big for up here at the minute. It'll just get in the way, and it's quite a cumbersome thing to shift around. So, yeah, we'll get it out the way. Take it back up to the shed. Crack on. Clara should be nearly finished now, I think, in that field anyway. Here she comes. Let's get out of her way. There we go. Nice. That's better, isn't it? There she is. See how she navigates this corner, eh? It is a bit tight. Especially with a convoy like that. Look at that, though. Bang on. Got to say, though, that's one of the things I love about Clara. She's not distracted. She's focused. She can see there's some big shiny new... well, now it's shiny anyway. New equipment down here on the farm. But she's got a job to do. And she won't stop till she's done it. Awesome stuff. Right, well, I think I'm going to give this air cart a quick spritz off with the jet washer as well. And then we'll go and have a look at Clara in the field. Well, she's off. There's no stopping her, is there? She hasn't even stopped for a bathroom break or anything. She must be deeply engrossed in a podcast. There we are. Well, as I said, I'm not going to stop her. She wants to carry on. She can carry on as far as I'm concerned. So, I think for now, we'll just leave her to it. Well, we're done. I honestly didn't think we'd get to this point today. There she goes. Back up to the farm. Yeah, I really didn't think we'd get to this stage today, if I'm honest. After the length of time it took to get that windrowing done this morning. Thought maybe would have had the north field there perhaps done, but the big cornfield as well. Wonderful surprise, I've got to say. And it's all thanks to Clara's hard work, determination, and sheer unwillingness to let go of the key to that 715. But brilliant stuff, it's done. So all that's left to do now is the soybean field up there, or was the soybean field. I think we'll crack on with that tomorrow. It's taken her a few hours now. It's a lovely, beautiful evening now. Just turned, I think, about 6:30 in the evening. So yeah, long, hard day's work. But as I say, the work doesn't stop there. We'll crack on tomorrow with the soybean field.